Just a Kiss, Chapter 22. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Also, just before we move on, check out this art from Random Fandom Stuff on Instagram, link in description box. Big Sweetie, thank you for drawing the moment that, made this series start. You're such a big sweetie. Thank you so much. Anyway, you link to her in the description box, and if you haven't heard the previous 21 parts, you can find links to those in the description box as well. Now then, if you haven't already, you know the drill. You've heard this intro before. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and if you don't know what to comment, put a first date. Now then, please enjoy Just a Kiss, Chapter 22. Chloe Bourgeois. Oh, honeycombs. Why did Lila like prying into things that were simply none of her beeswax? Ugh, ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. What was more ridiculous than her, however, was how desperately she wanted to see Nathaniel to shake off the vixen vibes. Hadn't she been ready to give up on him a few days ago? Oh, she had it bad. She'd had it bad for years. If only she could be more honest with him, or even with herself. That would be a nice change. One that certainly wouldn't happen, of course, but a nice one nonetheless. It's not like she was about to go ask him on a date, and certainly not while pulling shady strings so no one made a coin off of him, much less owning stolen art. As much as she could tease him about it, Chloe liked that webtoon. Princess Honeycomb. Loud and self-serving, but good at protecting what she loved. Huh. That's right. She'd gotten all hot under the collar when the protagonist, the Duke, looked at the princess and went on with an inner monologue. It didn't mean anything. Not anymore, at least. Even if it happened to be an interpretation of Nathaniel's feelings for her at one time, years passed, and the harsh words she used at him piled up one by one. Chloe stood and pushed her chair in, ready to leave this cafe, when she made eye contact with the man across the room. Nathaniel. The contact ripped her heart out of her chest, and she wasn't sure if her lungs could breathe with the damage. Was this a coincidence? Why was he here? And why was she so relieved to see him? His face split into a grin, and he gave her a wave. Oh, good. If he ducked behind that column, it would break her heart. "What are you doing here, you goof?" Chloe asked, walking over and plopping down next to him. At least she'd done her makeup for the Lila meeting. "I could ask you the same thing." Nathaniel raised an eyebrow and reached for his drink. "Another day, another conquest." "I won't press then." His laugh reminded her of dandelions, intrusive and bright. "Didn't answer my question." "Just getting some work done and planning my week." "Oh, anything unusual or fun on the radar?" Chloe leaned on the tabletop, her head snuggled into her biceps and elbow as she twisted the sleeves of her cardigan up and over her wrists. "Well, that depends on if the girl I'm asking on a date says yes." The smile she'd worn anticipating banter became a dagger on her face, stinging her cheeks as another stabbed her heart as she repeated each word to herself. "A date?" Chloe repeated. She didn't know if scoffing at it or raising an eyebrow would be a more natural response for her. Like, you buy a girl food and drop her off after a night of banter or uncomfortable silence? Yeah. His eyes trailed over her before meeting hers again, and he leaned in. "Where you fiddle with your keys at the door, wondering if I'll kiss you." "Who, me?" "Oh, honeycombs. If it was anyone else, she could shoot back a reply without hesitation. But the way he looked at her... It's a good thing I have an automatic lock, isn't it? So, no kiss? He pulled back, and she felt her heart fall. No, stop that. Or no date. She wanted to fight him. She wanted to let out every mean jab she'd used against him over the last few years. She wanted to wound him like an animal so he'd think twice about coming back. Pick me up at 6. The answer bubbled out of her before she could beat it back. Wait, no! That's not what she... Actually, it was. Wasn't it? That's what she wanted. A date. A goodnight kiss. An emotional drop into the bed thinking about shy movements over dinner. 6 it is. He took her hand in his and pressed his lips to her knuckles. Hold up. How is this Nathaniel? How had he gone from bumbling artist to Eddie Redmayne? Not that Eddie Redmayne didn't have a particular charm about his softness, but that's not the point. Well then, I'm gonna go. Chloe stood, hitting her elbow against the back of the chair. I'm gonna film a TikTok. Okay. His smile hinted he knew about her flustered status, but didn't bring attention to it. I'll be here. She didn't look back, not wanting to see the smug grin he was sure to have. For a boy who wasn't a superhero, he had his moments of ego. Not that she was one to talk. It's not like she was a superhero either. Catching her reflection in the cafe's window, Chloe paused for a moment. Okay. Good. Her blush looked like makeup. Good. Speaking of makeup, how should she dress for tonight? A date? With Nathaniel? Oh, honeycombs. Knowing her, Chloe was bound to mess it all up. Designer dressed or not. Thank you so much for listening. Part 23 is on the way. In the meantime, you can check out these other videos for more. Oh, look, another phone buzz. If you're still listening, comment phone buzz. I will catch you in the next one. I need to stop bringing my phone into the recording booth. Bye!